The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome to another wonderful edition of the Power Trading Hour. Of course, we just had the Fed minutes out and had a little action out here. We're up maybe 1 point on the S&P cash, went as high as 5 or 6 points. Probably not going to have a lot of action until after the close at 4:10. Just when Tom O'Brien is getting fired up, we're going to see the minutes from the Fed president's speech. I think it's at 4:10. Very rare that he does stuff outside the market hours. So a lot of people are kind of scratching their heads saying, well, maybe he's doing this because he's going to drop the chalupa on the market here. But we had a nice little short covering squeeze. We're up 1 point at 16.53. But there's no volume out here, and that's not going to change anything. We just had a little bit of up and down action. We're going to look at probably what's going to change tomorrow, since I don't suspect we have a lot of change through the rest of the day. That is, the Fed minutes came out. There's not a whole lot in them. People are probably trying to give it a Rorschach test and probably going to fall short of any meaningful change out here. But I have a feeling that we're going to have a lot more clarity in the Fed speech right at 4:10. Probably going to want to watching those ES futures right before the close at 4:15, and when they reopen, I guess, at 4:30. So we will take a look at that. As far as a movement in the market, 1.8 billion shares so far. Normally we come in here even on a light day at 2 billion shares, but not surprising that we have that. I suspect that we've gotten most of the delta neutral option market maker action out of the way yesterday, and looking for some kind of difference. We do have a little bit of movement in the markets, and that was let me see, find it here. And that was for the dollar. What do we have out here? It's off 51 cents, but we're still above the $84 level on the U3 contract, $84.30. And we're off of, 50 cents, maybe a little less. But I think that's probably just a natural reaction to the huge move yesterday. They're going to try to push this thing back, jawbone it back, but nothing can really get anybody over the incredibly horrible numbers coming out of China last night. And that is that there just isn't any way you can sugarcoat it. The numbers are coming down wildly and quickly in China, and not a big surprise that we're seeing the kind of pullback in loans and loaning money in China, and also the interbank rate skyrocketing just a few weeks ago that caused a lot of turmoil over there, and I suspect some of what has come into this market. So what is up with the VIX, Dave? Why so calm? Because I suspect there is a concerted effort from the Fed and Treasury to make sure that the market doesn't get too wild. If it did, because of value at risk models imposed by Dodd-Frank, people would have to start selling stocks. And they would love it to just the market to just go to 1625 and sit there for the next 3 years and tell everybody how great the market did. But, of course, if it did that, no one would want to be in it for very long. They take their money, go try to find some place to make money elsewhere. But the probably singularly right now in the stock market, you can't, it's pretty hard to get people to continue to buy stocks if they're scared, and the idea is probably to bring down volatility and continue distribution before the market heads down one more time. That's at least my thought. It's summertime out here, and it's going to be real tough to push the market out here, but a little spike. And again, 410. I'll probably try to put any kind of news in there for Tom to read out if you're on your way home in your car. Probably he'll have a Bloomberg terminal anyway, so he'll be able to get any kind of comments that really going to change stuff. But that he's doing it outside of the market hours, I suspect, is very interesting. He wanted to give everybody an entire probably evening and the morning to think about it before they came back into trading. Almost never does he have speeches that don't happen intermarket, and mostly before 1 o'clock in the day. So what else do we have going on in the markets? Probably the most we're going to do a little news. Probably some of the things that are interesting to me. Overnight, I saw a article, and basically it was saying that Intel had a lot of the iCore i5 and iCore i7 chips. And because they were probably about 20% optimistic on the amount of high-end chips they were going to sell, Intel is taking these chips that normally would go to manufacturers like Dell or HP and shipping them and putting them in boxes. Of course, when they're made, they have a number on them that signifies that they were built for an OEM customer, not built for the consumer boxes. Well, boxes started showing up about a day and a half ago. News reports started coming out about mid-afternoon yesterday, and by this morning I started having ads in my box, email box, about price changes that were fairly significant, 10, 15, 20% down on the flagship chips in these iCore 5s and or iCore 7 chips. But not too bad. But brought one that I've been looking at it about 400, or excuse me, about 360, 365 bucks down to about 325. So we had to interrupt the show for a spot announcement. Thank you, Spot. Go back to sleep. It's not something you need to be chewing on anyway. Anyway, we've got the new puppy here, and no one has helped me name the new puppy. Of course, I'm thinking Coco for the female small terrier mix here, but got a lot of personality. And, of course, she likes to interrupt the show, and probably need to start putting her in the other room during the show, but normally she's been sleeping through it. Anyway, what do we have going on else out here? But anyway, I wanted to just take a quick look. Probably not going to see a lot of a move in there since we already had the downgrades. Actually, we're up 3 cents on Intel. But I suspect we're going to get all the bad news in Intel over the next probably 6 weeks before September. And then we're probably going to look at Intel strengthening. Part of that strength is probably going to come from Microsoft. They've at least some plans have leaked from Microsoft of their plans to get people out of Windows XP and into new computers where they can actually start selling more software and services. And also try to hook together the phone business and their Xbox One business come this fall. So that's probably very interesting out there, but a lot of this was probably already indicated in the down move for Intel. Apple did lose their I wouldn't call it a lawsuit because they were actually charged with criminal a conspiracy to lower the price to publishers for ebooks and raising the retail price. They were guilty as sin. Kind of very weird that a company would ever go to the mat on something this where it was so blatantly obvious, especially the emails in there. But there may be a reason, and it may not make economic sense. But I have a sinking sensation. This is one of the tar babies that was left over from Steve Jobs. This actually happened in the iPad launch of 2010. But basically, they were getting together with Amazon, trying to push down prices to publishers and raise prices everywhere else so that they could make higher margins. And it's just the emails and everything that went back and forth. They were guilty as sin. If this was an individual in an individual company, he'd be in jail. But they'll pay a fine and go on. My guess is that Steve Cook, the current CEO, wanted to make it abundantly clear that he had nothing to do with it, and at the same time tar a few of the other executives out there that may one day want his job. We've seen Apple get rid of some fairly decent people. Once Steve Cook came into office, you don't want anybody looking better than you that could take your job one day. We've seen the same thing in Microsoft. But I have a feeling this was maybe two birds with one stone. One, make sure that Cook had no responsibility, and by getting everything out in court, he could prove it, something he couldn't do any easy way else. And the other thing is make sure that some of these people that were in the company were fairly tarred with this, and he doesn't have to worry about them one day coming to power because, of course, they've got a black mark against them for being involved in this criminal activity. They'll probably get fined $25 or $50 million, and of course they've got $140 billion. So in the scheme of things, is it going to be a big deal? It's a it's a speeding ticket at the Indianapolis 500. It's nothing. So other things are going on in the marketplace. We've been talking about CRM and some of the other companies. And people had been calling in. I said, you just really have to be very wary of getting involved in any of these because Amazon doesn't have to make any money, and they can continue dropping prices and forcing everybody out of business. Well, Rackspace numbers were down fairly significantly. CRM is down fairly significantly. And what we find out is Amazon, again, is dropping its prices. And some of the cloud computing platforms buy up to 80%. These are dedicated systems, that 80%. Some of the other non-dedicated system, when you really think about the cloud, it's, well, I've got one server up there, but I'm going to run an ad this weekend, so I need 5 servers. So you just basically go on your little interface, you click, hey, I need 5 I need 5 servers for the weekend. That's going to be 48 hours. They charge you by the hour. They charge you to go ahead and provision it. So maybe Friday night at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, you put the order in about 15 minutes, you've got 5 servers. Well, they're dropping the prices, all of those. And to give you an idea, some of these servers, we even looked at them at TFNN, but from 84 cents to 52 cents an hour, that is minus the cost for sending data. But 50 cents an hour, not a bad deal to get access for a full Windows server when you need it.
The Art of Timing the Trade Charts has officially launched at TFNN. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind software, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, butterflies, ABCs, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the market for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, and even months searching to find. As part of our introductory pricing, we're offering licenses available at only $59 per month. We're so confident that you'll love this new outstanding piece of charting software that we'll even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Lock in your low price today by ordering your copy at TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back. We've got a phone call. We're going to go straight to Larry in Cheyenne, Wyoming. How you doing today with Larry?
How you doing, David?
Great.
Good. I've got some questions on the 120-minute chart on Angie, if you got a minute.
Okay, I don't have that up, but go ahead.
Okay. It just went below, cleared the last 120-minute benchmark volume the day of 6/12, 942,000 shares. It's below that. And the next resistance is a bullish engulfing on May 23rd with low volume. And that's it. And then when you go to the daily chart, it looks like it could gap down tomorrow since all the people on the breakout of 425 are probably out by now, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, to me, you would have had 2 points to enter this. One, when it closed back into the trading range below 26.72, and the other one would have been a close below the 9-day moving average or the 3x3 displaced moving average. Okay. Either one, that would have been yesterday. So yesterday's close, you saw it, you could have taken it there. Now you pretty much want to, you probably want somewhere around that 26.40 level to get short this thing again, or 26.20, something like that. So.
Okay, so you agree at the 1-to-1 AB on the 120 chart, the AB equals CD is 24.17. That happens to correspond with the high of the bullish engulfing of 523.
Yeah, when they're this close within a buck or something, I don't put that much in it. I mean, these stocks are a lot more volatile than that, especially this one. So to me, you got a micrometer out when you need a yardstick.
Yeah. Well, I've got some puts, so I just, I don't want to ride through a retest of a 90.
Oh, okay. What's your puts?
August 25s. I got in about 140. What was it? About 140 a few days back.
Yeah. My guess is that this thing is going after this gap, and you're probably going to find halfway into that gap is where this thing wants to go. I thought it was a great short, and the only thing I hated was this. That they weren't giving you a very clear signal. You got the doji, you got the reversal, you got the pullback down below, so you got enough signals now. So I think you emailed me and you asked me if I liked it. The only thing I disliked about this was these days where it went sideways for so long, and that's the one thing that probably is not good on it. But I think you got 2150 on this thing, and I would look in the morning. If the market heads up on in the morning, everybody thinks Ben Bernanke is blessing a huge blow-off top, then I'd probably get out of this. If the market starts to weaken, I think you got 2150 in it. But it's going to be what Ben Bernanke says. Does he come out tonight and say, no tapering, no nothing? Well, then this market's going to take off and probably go to 2,000 on the S&P cash, and it'll be the biggest blow-off top of all times ever in the history of the marketplace. There'll just be no end to the amount of people getting in and causing yet another bubble. If he is cautious here, then we're probably going to go back to some kind of fair market value in this market, which would be around probably 1,400 at the present time.
All right. Well, many thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I would hang on to it in the morning, and you're going to know by then if it market's up, market starts heading down. I'd say 2150 by a week from Friday.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, this thing. Much. I mean, you had a top out here that was 7 million shares, and what'd you get? 66. Yeah. I mean, nothing, right? You couldn't even get a million shares out of the thing. Right. So it looked good. I just didn't. You get when these things go sideways like that from. What am I going to call it? About 612 through 673. It looked like distribution to me, but it was real hard for me to tell whether they were accumulating or distributing. They did a great job, but in retrospect, most likely they were distributing.
Clearly,
but those 2 days up at the top with no volume, that was the clincher out there, and you could have. For people at home, you could have shorted it below 26.72, the first close below that, or more conservatively under the 9-day moving average. But that's
one last question, Dave. Dave, on the price volume analysis, is that normal in your thinking? The breakout volume, which promoted a distribution top, doesn't have to be matched. It can come through that on lighter volume. The 623 5 bar.
Well, we're going to probably have to answer this on the other side. I'll try to
thank you.
Okay.
With the stock market flirting with all-time highs and volatility back, now is the perfect time for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights. On Monday, June 24th, Tom O'Brien closed out all 5 open positions in his daily newsletter Market Insights, with all trades being profitable and ranging from a 2.23% gain all the way to more than an 11% gain in just one position, for an incredible 32.7% profit combined between the 5 trades. Let Tom O'Brien's years of market experience work for you. If you'd like to see for yourself what kind of trading newsletter Tom O'Brien delivers to his clients each morning, then now is a perfect time to sign up for a 2-week free trial to his daily newsletter, Market Insights. In a volatile market like we currently have, the potential for fast market moves like we've seen recently is a trader's dream. So don't wait any longer. Sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today at the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And just before we get into the rest of the show out here, made some comments about Elliot Spitzer. Some people had some questions about why it's important to us. Well, mostly because he's in New York. Everybody in the Wall Street's in New York. He can go out and chase them around. He was on CNBC this morning. But if you want to know what this guy is really about, there is a video with Dennis Avacco. I think it's on CNBC also, from a year and a half ago, maybe. Probably a year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago. And this goes into what Elliot Spitzer's real motivations are, and basically they're in vendetta. He hated a lot of people, and there's some interesting comments if you go back and watch the video on there. But somebody that is trying to get into office so he can use it to pound on other folks, probably not the guy that you want, much less all his other indiscretions. And I think he lied this morning on CNBC about him and the prostitutes. But we'll go on. But when someone asks me why, and that is Frank Greenberg from AIG, probably not the most lovable guy, but at the same time, you don't want to have people in political power just going after people because they dislike them. And Dennis Avacco pretty much tells you exactly what Spitzer was like, and probably still is, in my opinion. A lot of these politicians pretty pretty big narcissist, and hopefully he just goes away. But I'm just always surprised he was never charged with anything. Anyway, want to go on to some other things out here in the marketplace, and we looked at Angie's list. Let's see, MCP having a huge move out here today. And we're going to take a look at that. This thing is still in the lower trading range. I would like to have seen more volume today. This thing did have a nice sign of strength back on May 10th. This thing took off. I've been waiting for it to come down. Now, if you look, there was a low back down here at 470. I was hoping this thing it would tag that. And, in fact, I was looking this week for it to come back up, and really never got a good swing at the bat on this one. And maybe I should have just dived in, but kind of a little mini ABC app. Of course, they've got some news coming out, and basically that is they've got new people in all the primary positions, and they look fairly strong compared to the original CEO, who was a bit fly-by-night. Well, you know, for a day like this, when the market's moving sideways, not a bad deal. But what we do have is a huge break above the 9-day, and you're getting about a 13% move today. So it is going to continue to be one of these stocks that's great for day trading. But what I dislike is this thing up at 790. Basically came in with 1/3 the volume, 60 million shares versus 19 million shares on May 21st. So you're going to see, you know, about a buck higher in this thing before it gets into severe resistance levels. I would love for this thing to come back one more time. In fact, ideally, I'd love to see this thing back at 470 on some extremely light volume and one more time to get in. But you know, I was even saying that I'd love for this thing to pull back on lighter volume. I was trying to buy it back here in this $5 range. Just never really got a clear signal on it. But this thing is hot again. Should be watching some of these stocks that do it. We've seen some of these stocks that have been parabolic. Finally, the bubble burst. X1 is that. This thing probably isn't set up to pull a short on it just yet, but I think we're probably going to get a big short on this one. We've got options expiration lockup happening in late August, first part of September. And I think we're probably seeing the first move out of that. We had high volume high yesterday that kind of came off fairly extensively. I'd love for this thing to kind of pull back up into about the $72 range, and I think we might get another swing at the bat on that also if we can get some of these moving. And I wanted to check in on EMU. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. This thing is coming down and on volume. It's probably going to be hitting $11. We talked a little bit about setting up a confluence on this one, and that's probably where this thing's going to come in. But because the volume has been pretty good yesterday, probably going to be good today, this thing's probably going to have to consolidate out a while. But we're starting to see some breaks on this one also. And again, you know, if you wanted to take a swing at this thing, you know, it's a $14 stock. I don't short them. But certainly the sell signal would have been probably the close below that 9-day moving average, and this thing falling apart. But it's already gone through gaps with significant volume below it, but I have a feeling this thing is going to be making its way back to that $9 range. Let's take a closer look. And, I think we showed this yesterday during the show. I'm actually going to use this as an example for teaching confluence levels, but this is a very clean confluence level from $10.99 to $11.16. And normally when these things break, they will probably see this thing by mid-August back around the $11 level. And if this thing can get in there, maybe even go underneath it but close back above that $11 range on the lighter volume, this thing may be ready to go back and challenge that 1460 level one more time. Right now we have more stocks testing the previous highs on lighter volume than any time in the last year and a half. There were a lot of stocks we mentioned yesterday, probably a few more today that I did want to point out. Let's turn that off. And St. Jude Medical. I don't think we brought that up yesterday, but this thing looks like it's done exactly what you want it to do today, and that is at least pierce the previous high, and that was on May 22nd, $47.45, 3.4 million shares. It pierced it by 3 cents. It's most likely going to close below it. And, you had 3.4 million shares. You got about half that right now. And the question is, well, actually a lot less than that now, about 900,000 shares. But even yesterday, you had 1.7 million shares, or 50%. And I really like these setups with a really light volume. I like energy when you see a lot of energy come in, it pull back on lighter energy, and then pull back up on just about the same energy. You really know these things are starting to suck wind. But STJ is a symbol on that one. SunPower. These things have all been, from my personal opinion, stock frauds. They're building a product that they lose money on, and no matter how many fancy ways you fix the books, I don't believe any of these companies are making any significant money. The numbers on SPWR are $23.76 on May 21st, 12 million shares. You get into it the last couple of days going above that level on 5.8 million, and then 6 million shares on the 8th. And it's closed back below it. This thing hasn't fallen apart yet. A lot of that, and actually energy just slightly up. But if we see any kind of real movement in the price of crude down, watch for a lot of these to start falling apart. And we haven't even gotten into crude and some of the other movements in the market yet. In fact, let me bring a few other things in while we were watching this, because we'll always get a little volatility after a Fed announcement. Like I said, though, I figure we're going to close right at 1650 at the close today, and then everybody's going to be watching those ES futures right after the notes for his speech come out. Normally, 5 minutes before he goes on, the speech will be distributed. My guess is it'll be 1 minute after the market closes. So you probably have a little bit of movement in those ESs between now and 4:15, or between 4 and 4:15 Eastern time, and we'll probably have a much clearer idea of what Bernanke's speech is actually going to bring us by the time that they reopen at 4:30. So make sure and hang on and listen to TFNN for the Tom O'Brien show, where I think he'll be calling the play-by-play on that. But what you don't like to see is this, which is making a new high, 2.1 billion shares, where we should be seeing 4.85, 5.5 billion shares in a day to push these highs any higher. And we're just not really getting any of that kind of stuff. So anyway, SunPower, good example of some of these out here. Manpower, a lot of these power stocks out here. But as we look at this, is another one. The volume's probably not as bad as I thought. Let's pick out another one here. JP Hunt, which has earnings coming up. This is one with 3 higher. I thought maybe you'd get a higher high today. Quite hasn't had it, but you'd love for 77.20 to be tagged. But you, on the first high, March 25th, $75.73, 900,000 shares, 830,000 shares on May 22nd at $77.27 or 20 cents. Then we have $63.88 on that July 9th high, and 610,000 shares. So we keep seeing, as we get into these, less and less energy pushing these tops. If we get a reversal back off these numbers on a lot of these stocks, it's going to look very, very strong to the downside. And that we basically are flat on the day again at 1652 after all the attempts to push this market up and down. Fairly interesting, but I think we've got a pretty good indication that we have seen the dollar index pretty much break that $84 level and hook or crook, I know they're going to try to keep the dollar from going up too fast. But I suspect sitting on our hands, if you're long dollar, short euro, probably going to be a good thing for a while. Let's see if we got anything else out here. We looked at Angie, Tesla. Let's see if anything else. Let's see. Dollar General up 3%. That was DG. They came out earnings. Family Dollar came out. Dollar General's up 3%. Not a lot of volume pushing this, but they're getting ready to come out there. 4.5. There is volume in this. Looked at it earlier, didn't see much. Certainly is 4.5 million shares so far today, going against 3.7 million shares on May 28th. So this thing, probably going to test this thing tomorrow, I would imagine. And you're going to need 3.7 million shares. Upgraded up more on BBY. Let's take a look at this real quick. It's off 5%, and that is a Best Buy. Like I said, a lot of these things that had been perennial shorts starting to roll over. This one is closing below its 9-day moving average out here. But they did a very good job of getting a lot of shorts involved in this and slowly rolling these people up. But I think you probably got a fairly good indication over here that this thing has hit its terminal high at $30.35 yesterday. Can it play back around and maybe get back up into these 29s? I think it can, but probably more likely headed fairly quickly to the gap between $25 and $24. There's just not that much that's changed in Best Buy. Doesn't matter how many kiosks they make. It's all about margin. And as long as Walmart is out there selling big screen TVs for little or no margin, Best Buy is going to have a hard time ever competing with them. Other stocks in the news, Netflix, NFLX, and FLX. What about the Geek Squad? They fired a bunch of them. There's only like half the geeks there anymore. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but they closed a lot of stores and changed the amount of outbound geek people, and they actually sold a lot of those little VWs. So not that many people. They're actually kept a lot of the people doing install home theater stuff, but the computer stuff, a lot of those guys are gone. The store by me is gone. Even the store over on Dale Mayberry, they have less than half the people they had in the tech center in the store there from last year. Netflix, this thing came very close to testing its high. Had decent volume yesterday. Again, I was looking at hoping for one more gap up and for this thing to make a 3-gap play. If you're watching on Tiger TV or in the Den, you've got two significantly huge gaps. And normally when they do this, there is one more. It's got earnings about next month. And again, huge short interest in this thing. So stay away from now, but I think one more gap up may get this thing to zero short interest, and that's probably where you want to plant your flag and buy some puts. We'll be back in a minute.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's trading newsletter,
Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Nowhere, spelled N-O-W-H-E-R-E. At one point, we've all been there. Whether it be our health, career, or our finances, some might be there right now. So where are you when it comes to your trading and investing? Better yet, where would you like to be? The good news, I can take you from nowhere to now here right now. Same letters, N-O-W-H-E-R-E, just a totally different emphasis and focus. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN, and on July 25th at 6:30 p.m., I'm going to share with you a trading strategy that I began on May 10th when the S&P was at 1627 and closed at the same price 8 weeks later. That's right, the S&P went nowhere versus a trading strategy that produced a 100% hypothetical return in that same period of time, and it's now here for you. Subscribers to my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability, have free access to this exciting live workshop. The trend is your friend. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com. Decisions shape your destiny, and your trading destiny is now here for you.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And stocks that are out here moving today that are interesting. Apple is, of course, one of them. This actually hit, is that correct? 424.80? Let's see if that's right, 424.80. Yep, that was right. Hit that high today. It was down at 418. Of course, we've rolled over, trying to go after the lows of the day out here at 1647 on the S&P cash. We're at 1649. Tried to break out the top. Now we're going to try to probably break out the bottom. Not a lot of energy either way. When we look at the volume as we go through the day. I'm kind of looking at a market that's just waiting for Bernanke. And I suspect probably that we couldn't get a huge move out of the Fed is probably going to have a few nervous people exit stage left before the end of the day. But it's going to be all about what he says. If he takes anything back, if he does take it back, then they're just going to assume he was jawboning. This market will probably take off and never look back. If he is unapologetic and says, yes, we've created bubbles. We've created a bubble in the housing market. And, of course, the proof of the pudding was basically these subprime loans coming back in. The subprime loans came in probably 2 months, 3 months before the housing subprime loans came back in. And we saw those in the automotive sector. So the problem is when you give away this free money, what does it do? Does it do exactly what you want? And at this point, it is starting to cause bubble behavior. And I think we saw a little bit of that in a concerted effort being scoffed at by the Treasury and FDIC by saying that the banks would have to carry a 5% cash back behind all loans instead of the 3% that they've had to up to now. And I think that's another warning shot that these banks are getting a little frisky in giving the money away, not to the small people that truly need it, not the people getting $100,000 house loans, but those huge companies they believe would be no way that they could ever go out of business, and they just figure it's easy money to give away, the Fed money, to people, again, who don't really need it, and if they really needed it, could expatriate it from other countries and back to here. But not a lot of movement out here. Again, just watching this thing, 2.2 billion shares with an hour left in the trading day. Just says there's not going to be that much happening before we go home, or at least the machines are turned off. What is it? Forget the two guys' name. Get back in there. Turn the machines back on. I think people are going to be screaming that as we close the machines at 4 o'clock today. A lot of people would wish that they had one more time. I'm going to sit on my hands and try to not get too excited as we close out this trading day. But if you're looking only at the charts, I can't see how you can make a bullish case with a price and volume here. Can you make a case that we're going to have the biggest balloon of all history if Bernanke doesn't continue to throw cold water on it? I think the answer is yes. I think we're looking at 200, 250 points up from here, or 250 points down, depending on what he plans on doing. Now, he's going to say that he wants things to stay about right here. But the stock market's a pretty fickle master. Things are either getting better, good getting better, or bad getting worse. And we're going to go into that bipolar mode fairly quickly. We're either going to be seeing fire or rain at 4:10 today. See you then.